All frustrations, depressions, and addictions in this world are just due to forgetfulness of our soul. Externally, you might look quite happy even. You're appearing on Instagram on different places. The Bahamas, Bali, Paris, Las Vegas. You might have an impressive career, an impressive bank account, a luxury car, a luxury apartment. But internally, in your heart, you feel completely empty. And that's where the danger comes in for addictions like drugs, alcohol, perverted forms of sexuality, or other less known strange addictions. In this video, I want to talk about how therapies and self-help groups can help you to get out of an addiction, and also what the ultimate solution is. Alcoholics Anonymous, short AA, is a self-help organization that emerged in the United States many decades ago, and it operates worldwide. It is well known, and many other organizations that fight different kinds of addictions, not only alcoholism, have copied their successful program that consists of 12 points. According to the AA, the individual, the addicted person, is not able to help himself. He requires an authentic spiritual experience. He requires the help of a superior spiritual power. Now, the AA is not connected to any particular religion. It's just this principle of seeking help from a superior spiritual force. Now, in order to really connect with a higher force that is beyond you, it is required to first connect with yourself, with your soul, with your own spiritual force, with your own tiny, tiny, little spiritual force that is just a particle of the whole spiritual existence. Now, it was Albert Einstein who produced this famous statement that every human being has to decide for himself or herself if you consider the universe to be friendly or inimical. Is this universe there to protect you? Does a higher spiritual force exist? Does universal love exist, where you can take complete shelter? Or is everything just survival of the fittest, completely cold, completely cruel? No living creature in this universe can live independently. We all need the cooperation of the universe. We need a certain atmosphere. We need air to breathe. We need a certain temperature. We need light, sun rays. We are very dependent on the situation in the universe. We are dependent on laws, physical laws, chemical laws, gravity, and also more subtle laws like the law of karma, universal justice. We are so dependent on our surroundings. We so much depend on the universe to supply us with everything we need. So we need the cooperation of the universe in every second, on every step. But actually, we are the ones who should cooperate with the universe. Being a small speck, a tiny part of the universe, we are supposed to cooperate with the whole. The duty of a part is to serve the whole, to cooperate with the whole. like the small part of this body, my little finger, is supposed to cooperate with the whole body. The feeling of being, of belonging, of being an integral part of the whole existence is a spiritual feeling that leads to happiness and peace of mind. And on a higher plane, on a spiritual level, it is just not an idea. It is a reality that you can experience at every moment. German psychologist Carl Jung, in a letter in 1961 to AA co-founder Bill Wilson, he expressed in that letter the idea that spirituality is the ultimate solution, the ultimate help for alcoholics or other addicts, with a word game spiritus contra spiritum. Now, even in clinical addiction therapies, patients are usually advised after their stay in the hospital, when they are again at home, to turn to a self-help group just to secure long-term benefits of the therapy. We are going to have a look at the principles of medical addiction therapy, and after that we are investigating the principles of spiritual addiction therapy. An addicted person first has to understand that he or she has a serious problem and needs help. And usually it takes quite some time. The person has to be really in a situation going so much down, going so deep, before he understands that he has a serious problem. The program is detoxification and dehabituation, supervised by a medical practitioner, or even better, in a hospital, specialized on addiction therapy. Medical surveillance is required because you can expect more or less severe withdrawal symptoms, physical and psychological, which can be reduced by medical treatment. And of course, there will be conversations, consultations, probably some kind of behavior therapy, sometimes psychoanalysis, relaxation exercises, acupuncture, neuroelectric stimulation. Psychotherapy is especially interesting when it looks at the root cause for the addiction. That means you have to go deeper and deeper into the psyche. And as you go deeper, you are touching the spiritual realm. The principles of spiritual anti-addiction therapy leads to a complete internal inventory. You have to understand yourself as a spiritual being, as a spiritual soul. You have to connect with your inner needs, your nature as a soul. There is something you are deeply lacking. You are craving for something, and you are looking for it on an external level. You are trying to cover your consciousness so you don't have to feel the void, the emptiness in your heart. That's what an addiction does. That's what drugs, alcohol, and other stimulants do. They cover your consciousness so you don't feel the craving of your soul. To connect with yourself as a spiritual being, to connect with your inner nature, you need spiritual practices like meditation, and there are many other things that you could do in this realm. And it doesn't only connect you with yourself, but it gives you a holistic view on existence. How you, as a spiritual particle, are embedded in the whole existence. Now, another important and interesting thing that self-help groups do, and this also goes for any spiritual community, a spiritual practitioner or any human, any spiritual being, we need community. We need exchange with others. So that's why self-help groups are so important to get out of an addiction, to connect with your spirituality. Life is hard. Life in this universe is tough. So there's a nice example that if you take a stick, a wooden stick, it can be broken easily. But if you take a bundle of sticks, it's almost impossible to break them. They support each other. It's so important for us as spiritual souls to connect with others, to open up to others, to share, to speak about our issues. This alone is such a great help to overcome emptiness in the heart, because it is the nature of the soul to connect with others, to have relationships with others, to feel empathy and love and care for others, and at the same time to feel loved and cared for. Any spiritual practice that you can do as an individual becomes so much more powerful if you do it together with others, if you do it in community. Now, if you are living alone and you are practicing alone, that is 100% okay. But still, it would help you a lot to connect with others, to connect with the community. Nowadays, there are so many possibilities online if you don't have anyone close to you to share your spiritual path with, to connect online, to go to a community, to a group, to Zoom meetings, and talk about your experiences. That is a great support on the spiritual path. Any addiction is just a sign of internal emptiness, of a vacuum in your heart. You have forgotten your own nature. You have forgotten your essence as a spiritual being. Your connection with everyone else, with everything, with the whole existence. And the remedy is to reconnect with your spiritual identity by committing to spiritual practices that are really touching, that go really deep, that give you deep satisfaction, that give you deep connection. And that is exactly what this channel is about. Take care.